Okay, so again, welcome to the Electric Construction Vehicle Workshop Series. Today, here are two Clean Cities organizations, Eastern Alliance for Clean Transportation and Pittsburgh Region Clean Cities, as well as we are both part of the Drive Electric Pennsylvania Coalition. This is a start of a new series on construction equipment. So I'd like to, again, introduce my counterpart on the other side of the state, Tony Bandiero, who is the executive director of the EPAC. Tony, you want to say anything?
Sure. Happy New Year, everybody. Like Rick said, this is our first and hopefully a series of electric construction vehicles. We actually have started a project this year. We'll start with PennDOT on electric construction vehicles. So we're learning just like you're learning as we go. So thanks for coming and enjoy the show.
Okay. So just as we start out, most of our, from those of you familiar with our medium and heavy duty electric truck series, we start off with a little bit about the Clean Cities organization. So we will definitely move forward. Why is this not moving forward, Tony? Let's see
Just
here.
hit enter. No.
Let me try this again in here.
Yeah, get back into it.
Yeah. Try one more time, Tom.
It always works on the test runs.
Yeah.
And share your screen.
All right. So again, the Clean Cities and Communities program. Again, we serve a lot of different entities, and we connect and collaborate for affordable alternative fuels. Again, we do grassroots reports, resources for new transportation, technology and infrastructure. And again, we support networks to help stakeholders identify cost-effective solutions that we work on locally within the state. Again, these are the kind of the different things that we offer. Again, through our Clean Cities and Communities, we have the information tools, and we also have we help with trying to find financial assistance and again technical assistance through our technical response. But the bore of what we do here is our training, outreach, and partnerships that we develop and we work with. As this is part of that as well. So what you see here is kind of our newest map that was updated in April about all of the areas that the Clean Cities and Communities thing, and you can see there's a number of apprentice coalitions that have moved forward on this, and a couple of these, I believe, now are full bred programs. But we do cover 80% of the population, and we are working to cover everything in the U.S. So this is just a map of our areas that Tony and I cover in the whole state. As many of you know, we partnership on many things, and we work as a state to help provide everything for all of our stakeholders and members. So this is just a breakdown. I think I have 33 counties on the western side, and Tony has 34 on the east. Again, I guess our main mission is to reduce petroleum consumption within the transportation sector. And again, using alternatives for petroleum-based fuels of gasoline and diesel. A little bit of that. Tony's group has been around since, or Clean Cities has been around since 1993. Tony's Coalition has been around since 93, and the Pittsburgh Region Clean Cities has been around since 1995. We're both 501c3s. And again, our stakeholders comprise of public and private companies, state, local government, municipalities, utilities. We assist with grant incentives, vouchers, rebates. Received over that's probably higher than 35 million now projects with over 300 million in private investment. We help with technical assistance at times in project management. But again, our main thing is our education and outreach. And you can look here. These are the in the green are all the areas that we cover on fuel types. One of the things that we're most proud of is EPAC and PRCC, our electric vehicle project. Again, this is something that we formed with the state agencies, Drive Electric Coalition. We were formed in 2016, again to help the state move through consistency with electric vehicles. We have quarterly meetings that are hosted by DOT and DEP. What's going on, and you can turn around and look. There is the website that the two Clean Cities organizations own, and we try to keep updated going through. So all the things the electric is kind of guide through the Drive Electric Pennsylvania Coalition. Another thing that Tony and I work on together is a Charge at Work workplace thing where this program here is free access to incentives database, free use of Charge at Work project builder tool, free work at site assessments, free employee engagement support, and free marketing and promotion. And you can turn around at the bottom is the Charge at Work link for that. Another one that we're just, Tony talked just briefly about is what we're going to be working with the state, advancing sustainability and construction equipment through a community-driven app. And I know we have Colton Bryan on from PADOT. Colton, would you like to say something about this program?
Sure. So the concept of the project is that PennDOT will be purchasing some electric construction equipment and a mobile battery and testing it out on real highway projects. Likely having essentially one crew, small crew that is just electric, so that you get the full feel of what is this like when it's only electric equipment at this site. Nothing too major, but still want be able to do real jobs day to day, try it out in different climates, job types, things like that. And we'll be reporting back, collecting data, reporting back on how that goes. Maybe demoing the equipment or displaying it different places, letting different stakeholders know about how it's going, some final reports at the end. So yeah, looking to later this year be getting that equipment out on the road and doing work. So it'll be interesting.
Thank you. And again, the Clean Cities organization will be reaching out to many of you and your companies and different construction companies, municipalities that may be able to participate in these events when we get it started around the state. So again, other federal incentives, some of the opportunities, the funding opportunity announcements through Clean Cities, the all fuel corridors, which we pretty much have a lot of our, almost all of our interstates designated and different things. Again, we have the charging and fueling infrastructure discretionary grant program. That actually closed in August of 28 of 2024, but there is opportunity for community charging as well. The National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure, the NEVI Formula Grant, which the state has already had three different announcements on that, and we have a lot of those things. In fact, I noticed that we just got our one along I-79 here in Slippery Rock, PA, is up and running now. Again, $5 billion over 5 years for for that NEVI program. 2.5 billion discretionary funding as well. And then again, we have the diesel emission reduction, the DARA program, which is average about 40 million a year, and the clean heavy duty vehicle grant program, again, which closed in in July of 2024. One of the things that we're really proud of in Pennsylvania is we have the alternative fuel incentive grant program, between 5 and 6 million a year since about 1993, 95 timeframe. It can be used for retrofit and purchase, alternative fuel refueling infrastructure. What's really nice also is they have an innovative technology side of that program as well. Driving PA forward, medium and heavy duty. I think there's still some rebates available under that. And again, we talked about the NEVI program. And that's kind of just a little bit about there. This is our contacts for Tony and I and our coalitions here in the Drive Electric Pennsylvania. So at this time here, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, Bob Newt. And Bob, if it's all yours.
Well, thank you, Rick, and thank you, Tony, and thank you everybody for logging in today and spending some time with me as we go through our electric vehicle model overview. Just a little bit about where we started with this in 2018. National Grid, the utility supplier in New York State, approached us and asked us if we would be interested in building a loader backhoe that was electric. And we really hadn't even anticipated going down the pathway to electric, but when this opportunity came up, we decided it would be a good place to start. We joined forces with Moog Aerospace and with Green Machine. And in 2020, we released to National Grid the very first electric backhoe. This is shown at their facility in Albany, New York, and then out on a job site that later on that day. So this was our impetus to get into to where we started. We took all of the data that we gathered from the telematics, from operators, and from management meetings that we held on a weekly basis, and we turned that into what we needed to build our electric fleet. And Rick, if you go to the next slide, you'll see our family photo. This is one that I show at Thanksgiving when we get together with my family, and I'm pretty proud of this. We at Case are very proud of the entire organization, how it showed up. Looking from the left, we have a CL36 compact wheel loader. We have a CX15 1.5 metric ton mini excavator. We have our 580 super end loader backhoe. We have an SL22 articulated loader. And then we have the CX25 2.5 metric ton excavator, which comes in a canopy or cab with heat. This is as far as we're going in our exploration into EV. We've decided that this small to medium market is where we will stop. The larger we get into the faster we get into the larger machines, the more expensive and the more difficult it is from battery technology and software. Moog was responsible for all of the software and the hardware for the 580 EV originally, and they are still our partner with the 580 EV today. So as we stand here, we see that the CX15 is well suited for interior operations. It will go through a 36-inch doorway. You can roll the ROPS canopy back and narrow the tracks down to 36 inches and walk through a regular pass door, our man door. The CX25 mini excavator is a little bit larger. You can still go through garden gates. The canopy on that does not remove or is not flippable to the rear. So it is a little bit larger, but that's more suited to outdoor activities. With the mini excavator, with the CX15, when you're talking about starting earlier, working longer, that machine is being utilized in a hospital out in Hawaii, in food service up in Canada, in plumbing and electrical work on interior renovation. So it's well suited to that interior application. Next slide, Tony. So here's the layout the CX15, CX25, 96 volt battery architecture. The small articulated loader, the SL22, is 48 volt, so low voltage. Our compact wheel is CL36, is 96, and the loader backhoe is 400 volts. The compact wheel loader CL36 and the 580 both use the J1772 charge protocol. So any of the stations that municipalities might have at their locations capable for charging that. The mini excavator CX15 charges on 110, and the CX25 charges on 220 at 20 amp. So very simple charging architecture for all of these. Next slide. We have EH controls on all of the machines. We have unique control adjustability that allows the operator to really make the machine his own machine. We have great performance and capability, and I can sit here and as I talk with folks, I've been to Pittsburgh, I've been to Richmond, I've been to many other cities, and I sit and I'll talk with operators, and until they get in the seat, they don't believe that this machine or any of these machines are capable of doing what the diesel can do. And I can emphasize that as soon as they get in the seat, there is a realization that it is as or better than the diesel. So this particular operation here, the CX15 is working inside a Walmart down in West Virginia. So just the other side to the right of the machine is a plastic wall that separated Walmart from the loading dock where they were working. So again, this interior operation allowing business to continue while they're working. Standard and long arm, pin-on mechanical coupler, and the 96 volt battery architecture. Next slide. The CX25, again, EH controls, again, customizable for the operation. We have 3 modes of operations for battery savings or for high-speed performance with the machine. Again, open ROPS or an enclosed cab with heat, and the 96 volt. This is about 50% larger than the CX15 in battery architecture. Next slide. The specifications on this, and I don't want to get too deep into the weeds as we go through the specifications. Tony, you're going to distribute this program to all the attendees, correct? Okay.
Yes.
And the other thing is, I'm encouraging everyone here, if you want to have a demo on these machines, my contact information will be on the last slide. Reach out, and we can certainly put together demonstrations so that your operators can, in fact, touch them and feel them and operate them and see exactly what I'm talking about when I say that they are equal to or better than. Again, getting down into the weeds on all of the capabilities probably isn't where we need to go today. What I want to do is go through this program, and then I want to open it up for questions and answers. Next slide, Rick. So the SL22 has a cab or a ROPS. It's got the Z-bar loader arm. It's got the 48 volt system architecture, which from the battery perspective, that is low voltage. And it has an articulated chassis. Next slide. The CL36, again, cab or ROPS, Z-bar loader arm, larger, more performance, higher lifting capacity, greater lifting capacity, lifting heights, wider stance for capability and stability. And it is a 96 volt architecture. Next slide. Now, these are the specs on the SL22. Your runtime, and we talk about runtime on all of these machines, we're looking at 4 to 6 hours of operation on these, and we really have to start to change the way we look at what it means by, I need that machine on the job for 8 hours. It's not going to operate for every minute of every hour in that 8-hour duration. So we've started to change the perception of how long that machine actually needs to run, and people are starting to look at it differently. we were down in Maryland, WSSC, the water company down there, and we realized there that as the guys were operating it, we were on the job for 5 hours. They operated for an hour and a half. So we start to change the way that that perception of time really comes into play with these. So our 5 to 6 hours has become acceptable to many of the contractors and utilities who are using these. Next slide. And our 580 EV is based on our proven 580 Super N design. We've got a 400 volt system architecture, again, charging on 1772. And we're looking at that 4 to 6 hour runtime operationally. This machine will take any of the attachments that the diesel counterpart will. It's got the EH controls. And again, customizable to the operator, customizable to the job, and leading to better battery performance. We also have standard on this 4-corner strobes, which are DOT satisfactory for all states. So you can change the colors of those from the dash. Everything is very customizable from the dash, from the loader backhoe loader performance and the backhoe performance as well. But again, getting into the seat and understanding how you make those changes and how those changes affect battery performance and battery life is critical to understanding the EV operation. Next slide. Again, back into the operating characteristics of the machine. Our 4 to 6 hours runtime, our charging time on the 1772, 20 to 80% in 4 hours, 0 to 100%, 7. Again, if you're roading the machines, you're going to eat up your battery, and that's just typical of any EV machine. If you're trailering the machine, you're going to get a much longer lifespan on your job sites. The specs on this are exactly the same as the 580 Super N diesel. And again, finding that it is equal to or better than happens when you get in the seat. Next slide. And one more. So 1772 on the 580 EV and the CL36. Again, utilizing your charge ports that you have at any of the municipal locations. I believe it was Pittsburgh who was looking at the portable charging. Might have been PennDOT and Colton Brown talked about having that portable charger that would be going out with the machines. So an interesting concept idea there. Next slide. These are the chargers that we offer through the CNH parts department. And again, simplistic, easy to do, no need for anything larger than this. There are 3-phase chargers, fast chargers available for the CX15 mini excavator and the CX25. But at this point, we haven't seen the need for that based on the utilization. The CX15 that was working up in Canada the other day, I received a report back that they had operated 6 to 7 hours with a breaker on the CX15 and also digging on one charge. So there's an understanding that has to take place by the operators of changing the way they operate, not dramatically, but just efficiently. And it happens over a 3 to 4 day period as they start working with the electric machines and understanding how they work, what they need to do, and how they can customize the machine to get the job done and at the same time be efficient at doing it. And it's fun to watch. You see the operators just change the way they think about it and change the way they address the job as well. So. Next slide. These are different connections that we have for the machines for charging. It just goes into the outlet configurations a bit. Next slide. And these are the EV specification comparisons for all of our machines. Next slide. My contact information, please reach out, call, email. I'd love to set up opportunities to bring the machines out, let you guys have demonstration time, and just understand how we can fit into your EV strategies with our EV products.
Okay. At this time, if we have any questions, you can either ask them in person or put them in the chat for me, and we will try to address them. Questions?
I'm old school. Hey, this is great. I can see places for an opportunity for this, but in Pennsylvania, are you applying for AFIG for the incremental cost? Or I can see a utility doing it, right? National Grid's in our service territory, but a private person, if the incremental cost is $100,000 or something, where would you suggest they go to seek that funding?
Rick, I'll let you field that question because unfortunately, Barry, we don't have the resources to identify all of the incentives that are available. But Rick and his team certainly have a great process for that.
Yeah, I would. I mean, again, I would defer to our AFIG, whether off-road would be available with that, because there is infrastructure that can be tied if it's tied to vehicles. Colton, I don't know if anybody from DEP is on, but would you like to kind of chat in there as well?
Yeah, funding source can be tricky since they're off-road vehicles. Most funding programs focus on on-road vehicles. So definitely something to look specifically program by program. I'm not 100% sure on AFIG. My initial guess would be no, for qualifying or being eligible, but not sure. I mean, that's part of why we went after kind of like an open-ended Department of Energy grant for our project, because there's not like a program that we saw that was dedicated to like testing off-road.
Okay. Thank you, Colton.
Yeah, Barry, I don't believe that any of the DARE or any of the other programs are part of this. I know there's been a lot of discussion on off-road, on ports, and stuff like that, on material handling equipment. As you can see, some of these things there you can use forklifts on.
Yeah.
Forklifts, the brushes I see on construction equipment all the time, the attachments that go on these different programs. So, but I'm not, I right offhand, I couldn't. But again, you could go to the Alternative Fuel Data Center, and there's different programs out there that are listed that folks could research there. But again, if there's something other than that thing, I do have one in the chat. Is Bob, could you discuss it all, or whether you have the wherewithal to tell us what an estimated cost is on each individual unit?
The majority of the time, we will say that you're looking at double the cost of a diesel machine.
Okay,
that's a pretty good rule of thumb to go with all of the products.
Okay, and then have you had anybody use what they call mobile charging or something like that for any of your units that are in operation right now?
We have not yet.
Okay.
We have not. And we do have units in operation in California. California Corps has helped a great deal with the financing there. I think we have 15 or 16 machines out on the coast operating right now. But to answer the question, none with using portable charging.
Okay. I have one here. I'm curious about the portable chargers. Our company does a lot of heavy highway construction, which was where we would use most of our electric equipment. Our lay-down yards are typically temporary space along with the side of the highway. Have you seen any solutions that would accommodate a portable charging in a space like that? Um, I'm not sure. There's a number of companies that have battery storage that have been used that can be used for charging equipment online. I know there's one company that actually their unit can be used as a piece of equipment for lifting and that, but it also has battery that you can charge from that as well. That's one of the ones. Let's see here. Uh, Ellie, have you looked at the cost of lifetime for use of the machine? I'd imagine the cost to operate electric is much cheaper.
Well, you minimize the cost based on the fact that you've taken away a lot of the maintenance. You don't have the diesel fuel cost. You don't have the engine cost, oil filters, air filters. That you do have other costs that are associated with it, which is just routine maintenance. I don't have Brady Lewis. Do we have a calculator or a calculated number? I thought at one point we had a percentage. Um, Brady, are you on? Rick, if you can get the name of the person who asked that question, I will respond to that.
Okay, that was let's see. I think that's
Ellie?
Ellie Kearns. I will get that. I have another one here. Is charging equipment for the vehicles Build America, Buy America compliant? Because you know a lot of the federal funds and stuff like that have to have Build America or Buy America act on that. Do you know if that's what the chargers that you sell?
I think I saw Kelly answer that question. Kelly, could you log in?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so the offering that was shown there currently is not, but we are looking at options that would be VAVA compliant for future offerings.
Yeah, that kind of restricts a lot of the government funding that's available there as well. Let's see. I have another one here. Maybe not. Let's see. Hey, no, that was the last one, I believe.
Okay.
Anybody else that would like to unmute or put something in the chat? Let's see what we have here. Jessica, thank you for the thing, equipment, but how does cold weather change this dynamic? In other words, she thanked you for the presentation. And do you foresee battery swapping existing for these series equipment to accommodate for colder environment or longer needed operating time?
Battery swapping, no, not at this time. It's something that we've talked about, but it's just not feasible in a lot of this equipment that we have. We're also, when you start to think about the units that might be out in the cold weather climate, obviously a CX-15, CX-25 mini excavator, you're probably not going to be digging much in the frost with those machines because of the small size of the machines. So they're not going out. The loader backhoe has heated batteries. So as you're charging it, it's warming the batteries. As you're utilizing it, you're warming the batteries as they discharge. So yes, there is going to be a slight difference in battery utilization from 70 degrees to 30-degree operation. But I don't believe that at this point it's going to be noticeable since the warming is continuing to take place. And again, it depends on the job, the application that you're utilizing the machine in.
Okay. Last chance to to ask any questions?
We are on Sourcewell. I don't know that if I mentioned that while we were discussing the machines, but we are Sourcewell with all the machines.
So again, for those of you who not done I know the Sourcewell is an operation that kind of a lot of municipalities and different organizations use Sourcewell for different a number of different alternative fuel vehicles. So again, it's almost. Bob, do you happen to know if you're on any of the federal or well, Sourcewell could be state stuff, but any of the federal buying programs as well?
I am not familiar with an answer to that question.
Okay. Coming from the federal government, I know about GSA sources and things like that. So, okay. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I just want to let everybody know that we will have these slides and the video posted on our websites. And for the future, please keep an eye out for future webinars across the EPAC and PRCC, Drive Electric Pennsylvania. And again, I'd like to thank Bob and the group for sharing their information. And thank you again, and have a great day.
Thank you all.
Take care.
Goodbye.